So this is going to be the part one of a part two, or a two-part video. This one I'm going to talk a little about Fight Club, the book and the movie. They're both actually really similar, and I highly recommend them. I won't spoil anything, by the way, so don't be worried about that. I'm going to talk about the message behind this, the philosophy of one of the main characters, Tyler Durden. And with that, I'm going to talk about minimalism and kind of my thoughts on that. And later on, the second video, I'll critique it and I'll give the solution. Okay, so Fight Club, the overarching message behind that, or the philosophy of Tyler Durden, is hitting rock bottom. It is the objection of self-improvement, of taking things, a lot of responsibilities in your life, seriously, of self-harm in order to achieve this greater understanding, right? It's in order to hit rock bottom, which what that really means is getting closer to the idea of anti-consumerism, closer to this idea of true primal not manliness, but getting closer to kind of like our primal selves in that extent, and being enlightened in a sense of, I'm trying to think of my words here. It's hard to put into words. This is advanced stuff, and basically, just the idea, guys, is it's going against society's concept of men and going against materialism and living through our things that we have. That's the big idea here. And Tyler himself, specifically him, he's all for hitting rock bottom and just kind of letting yourself go as you dedicate yourself to this bigger mission, which is the destruction of modern culture and materialism for getting back to your primal state. So first off, with materialism, that's the first most glaring thing, obvious thing about this. I can sort of agree with where they're coming from. American culture, we place so much value in our things, right? People live so much through the things that they have, through their phones, through social media. They live so much through TV, just watching TV, through sports. You see that a ton. Through the news, through the government, through their social parties, through religion, all these different things, some material, some not. But they live through these things, and they don't necessarily live through them, what defines them. And it's a huge issue because it leaves a lot of people unhappy, leaves a lot of people empty, because they're so absorbed in all these other things that they're unable to step back and look at the things that really matter in their lives. Examples, see a lot of middle-aged guys with their cars, right? Waxing them and stuff, cleaning their garage, driving them around all the time. They appreciate it. That's fine. Appreciate nice things. The issue is that they do that instead of spending time with their family, or repairing their relationship, or going to the gym, or eating healthy, right? They prioritize these other things over the stuff that actually matters. That's the huge issue in modern society now, is that we prioritize the things that don't really matter. And even more important, I think, with teenagers, man, is our social media, Instagram, Snapchat, these a little bit less Snapchat, but Instagram, maybe Twitter. It's that we're so concerned with how we are perceived. And we're so concerned with these just abstract things about Snapchat, right? Or about Instagram. Like how many likes things get. I was worrying about that the other day. I caught myself. I put out a picture and didn't get a like in the first 5 minutes. And I was like, I was almost worried, right? Think of that. The state of society where of myself where I'm worried about how many likes my freaking picture is getting. Seriously, right? Like, maybe you should focus your attention on things that really matter. So that's just kind of an example. And that's where I can understand where they're coming from. Like, materialism and consumerism, when you're looking at it from this angle, throw it out the window. Get rid of it. Destroy it. Got to go back to where where we were made. But then if you say that, you start going on this rabbit hole, and you commit yourself to something that you don't want to go down. Going back to our primal selves and getting rid of that. We'll talk about that later, because it's the idea of minimalism and getting rid of everything. That can be an issue. So that's a big message. Also, a huge message is talking about hitting rock bottom and self-destruction rather than self-improvement, because that leads towards a sort of enlightenment and a closer connection to the true values of anti-consumerism. Of course, a huge part of my philosophy is self-improvement. It's essential, I think, to a good life. In my opinion, a full life, you have 4 things, right? You have relationships, both intimate and familial, with your family, and like with your friends, right? So you have relationships. Experiences, the stuff you go out and do, the stuff that shapes you. The world's too big to be staying at home. Unless you're me, making videos in your basement. That's a good excuse. 3 is self-improvement. Don't want to forget my life philosophy. Self-improvement. It's the idea that when you die, all you're going to have is who you became. And through self-improvement, you can change yourself entirely. And you can impact so many people in your own life, improve your own life immeasurably through self-improvement. It's extremely important in my life view. So that, and 4th is your legacy, what you leave behind when you die. Okay? And Tyler, his perspective of self-destruction obviously goes against self-improvement. And actually, his entire philosophy really only agrees with legacy. Legacy is leaving behind something when you die. Having a purpose, a why in life, so that you can leave something when you die, right? And for him, that's destroying materialism and consumerism and trying to bring us back to our natural selves. Having a why is good. I mean, his might be a bit extreme, but at least he has one. But the trade-off was he gave away his balance in life in order to just have the why. And you really do need balance for a full life, because those 4 things, they're extremely important to have a fulfilled and satisfactory life. Because you only focus on one, all your other areas diminish. And pretty soon, yeah, you're chasing that why, which is important, but your friends, your family, your relationships, they've gone. You realize that now you're diminishing. All your experiences recently have just been you working entirely on your sole purpose. They've not been going out and doing things and broadening your mind. Your self-improvement has been diminished because all of a sudden now you don't have time to read, right? Don't have time to engage in these activities. And instead, you're dedicating yourself entirely to this one thing. So, those are huge issues with that. And that's kind of my take on Fight Club, that sort of philosophy behind Tyler's viewpoints. In the next video, I'll talk about minimalism and my critiques of that.